There, meow at me. Guess you're just gonna sit there and meow at me. Okay, be that way. He'll be back. He's gonna circle the couch once or twice, and then he'll just pop up. Yes, he will. Hey, Tracy. There's Janine. Good morning. Just me and my co-host here. Yeah, it kind of came out nice. I'm happy with it. Gotta go through all the clocks now. Actually, I think I got that one really nailed down this time because it is 11 o'clock right on the tick now. Yeah, he's saying now, oh, is that it? How about we do this, huh? Until people get in here and start talking a little bit. Welcome to the Brushing the Cat channel. Today's technique, brushing the back. Good morning, Scott. Hey, Lindex. Good morning, Gene. You like that, don't you? Yes, you do. Hey, Darth. All right, it's going to be a good one. Gotta get through all the initial greetings here. Good morning, Yvonne. How are we doing? The gang's all here. Oh, yes, brush is his favorite thing ever. Oh yeah, you had a cuckoo clock that didn't work for a while? Mine's been working great since they worked on it. So yeah, I'm convinced though that if I left that brush up all the time, what he'd do is he'd brush himself until he bled. I just don't think he can handle the responsibility. He's like an addict. Because I've thought about it. They got those little things that you can put on the corners of like walls, where you have an inside corner or outside corner, and then they can kind of go up and brush against it. But I've thought about getting that because they're always rubbing up against the outside corners here, and it's always like a little grease stain along there where they're getting their whatever the grease in their fur off of it. So oh, okay. Yeah, that can happen. You got to be real careful with those things, especially if it's like an authentic cuckoo clock, like the one I have, where, all the little parts inside are made out of wood. There's very, very little metal in there. Haven't seen the water tower yet. Yeah, I was concerned because I had two clocks that I brought back to me from California when I was there about a year ago for my mom's funeral. It was the grandfather clock and that antique clock. And, the antique clock was already damaged. So, that was kind of a scary part that, making that drive back. Oh, yeah, that's up, Darth. Sorry, I forgot about that for a second. I zoned out on that. I guess since Bite is gone here, I'm going to make this a little less awkward. Yeah, it's a little bit overlit. Fortunately, this one's low power. It's just the LEDs. So it isn't quite the power that I'm sure Clark's was using. When they had to, kick in more nuclear power in the movie. Oh, thank you, Darth. I appreciate that. I had a bunch of these items on my list, so I had to, after I got the things myself, I said, I got to pull those off the list, or else, I'll end up with a second one. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I had the house last year, and I just decided this year, I want to go get a few things. So, I that was fun. Well, I did. I pulled the items off the list, but yeah, I could probably put other things up too. Like I said, this channel's never really been about give me things or give me money. It's just I kind of enjoy doing it. So it isn't really maybe the center of my thoughts. Like, hey, what else can I scam out of this? but I appreciate that people want to do it. Just go to my main page. There's a, let's see, hang on, I'll take you there here. I'll show you what to do. Let me get hooked up here. Let's see, this is not where I want to be. Oh, okay, sorry. I'm looking right at it here. Okay, hang on. Let me cut you away here. Okay, we're going over here. So this is the main page right here. Apparently we're doing a live stream. Huh, who would have thunk? But you got this one here that says my Patreon one. If you kind of click on that part, it'll give you all three of them. And the Amazon wish list is right here. So yeah, that's how you do that. Yeah, the vacation house is great. I like that. It's so bright and it's just like the one in the movie. I don't know. Let's go see what's on the list. You know, we can do that here. I'm going to click on that link. Okay, we'll cut away here again. Okay, here's the Amazon wish list. So yeah, they got a couple more of these um, Department 56 things. There's Snots chasing the squirrel, and Grandma when she was asked to do the grace and gives the Pledge of Allegiance instead, and Clark and Rusty putting up the Christmas lights, and there's just a big ball of lights he's got to untangle, and all the family out there waiting for the lights to go on. And then I got stuff just for the train sets too. So that's what's on the list right now. Some more buildings, some little cars, some little things for the train set. So two different themes there if you want to look at that. Deluxe telescope. Yeah, I wish. There we go. Yeah, Yellowstone trip would be great too. I don't know if you give those away on Amazon though. Amazon seems to be into everything else though, doesn't they? I wonder if they have a travel department. Yeah, were you here last week, Darth? I do. I don't remember if because yeah, I did have news last week about the shop. It hasn't changed since then, um, but apparently the husband and wife team, Chris and Kara, who are running the place, had some sort of fight, and he left. And there was two kind of parts to the store. There was a gem and crystal part, and there was a jewelry part. He was a jeweler, and she was the person who was in the crystals and rocks. And so that part of the store, I guess, is done. They're not doing any more jewelry in there, and I guess she's thinking about moving too. I guess they've had some little petty crime around the store, and she doesn't want to deal with that anymore. So I think she's talking about moving to Hewitt. And Hewitt, that's okay. That's not that far. That's just on the south end of Waco. That won't be a problem at all. Well, apparently, what happened is, I guess he considers it over because I guess he just when he left, he took 50% of the money and just bailed, and so I guess it's over. She seems to have somebody else who's helping her right now. I don't know if it's maybe a new partner or just a friend that's stepping in to help, but hopefully there won't be any issues. No, it wasn't shoplifters. It was homeless people that were sleeping behind the place and causing vandalism and stuff like that. Yeah, apparently somebody's cut their telephone cables and their cable cables and stuff like that going into the store. They do sell it. They do have. It wouldn't surprise me. I never really thought about it, but Amazon seems to be into just about everything. It's funny because I from the past that I really love white grapefruit unsweetened grapefruit juice, and for some reason for the last few weeks HEB hasn't had it anymore, and I don't know, maybe they've discontinued it, maybe they don't sell enough of it or whatever, but I found it on Amazon, so I have it being shipped to me now periodically. You talking Doris Miller? Because he was given I don't remember what the medal was, but it was like some big you know so let me see what it is here, because like the most famous picture is this picture here I'm going to show you. Okay, let's see, this is a picture getting the medal. What does it say it is here? Navy Cross. Yeah, here, let me show you this here. There's this is a picture of him. I think who is the Chester Nimitz, Chester W. Nimitz. So you've heard of him. That's him awarding a Navy Cross to Doris Miller. So that happened during World War II while Doris Miller was alive, because Doris Miller didn't survive World War II. He was put on another ship after he was a hero at Pearl Harbor, and that ship went down with all hands. So yeah, I don't know what medal we're talking about, but Medal of Honor, I guess that would be a good one. Because if there's anybody who's an inspiration, it's that guy. I'm very pleased to live in the town he was born in. The only the only time I picked up on it is when I first started hearing about him and learning about him and figuring out who he was. I remembered a scene in the movie Pearl Harbor uh, of a character who seemed to kind of remind me. The story of him reminded me of him, and I watched the movie again after hearing of him. And yeah, the character Cuba Gooding Jr. plays in Pearl Harbor is Doris Miller. So it's sort of told in that movie. I know that movie's kind of a stinker, but it is it is kind of told in that a little bit, and so that's kind of cool. Yeah, there is like a that there is some sort of an aircraft or a vessel named after him. My understanding is that's the first time that a American vessel was named after not a president or a famous general, just an enlisted man. Navy Cross. Okay, yeah, I don't know that much, but I guess Medal of Honor. That sounds like, is that Congressional Medal of Honor? Because yeah, that does sound like that's probably would probably be a somewhat higher honor. Yeah, we're very proud of our hometown hero here. The local VA is named after him, and there's a cemetery kind of on the northeast side of town that's named after him. And of course, there's down in Martin Luther King Park, which is right along the river there, right near the Waco Suspension Bridge. There's that Doris Miller memorial there, and I was lucky enough to be there for the rededication of that when they expanded it and put some new stuff on there. So that was I've you can definitely if you're interested in learning more about him, go look for that video. Let's see if we can figure out which one it is here. All right, let's do a little search action here. Okay, it was episode. What's it called? Yeah, it's just called Pearl Harbor Day. It was 3 years ago. Oh, it's episode 663. So that was it. There's also another one that I did, episode 278, which was about the memorial itself. So yeah, if you're interested in looking that up, check them out. Definitely worth a look. Very impressive man. No, no, he went down. He went down with his ship. He's in the bottom of the ocean somewhere in a. I think it was. I think the ship was called the USS Lancome Bay or something like that. Went down with all hands. I know that surprised even me, Gene, that it happened that quickly. I mean, it was no question he was going to do it. Now, I am sort of disgusted by the whole thing because he didn't just pardon Hunter for the crimes that Hunter is accused of doing. He basically gave him a blanket pardon for anything he's done in the last 10 years. So that means that when he was a crackhead selling his dad's influence to a corrupt Ukrainian power company called Burisma, and which is completely illegal. Yeah, he just got pardoned for that. So I was listening to Mark Levin this morning. Mark Levin summed it up perfectly. Joe Biden just pardoned himself. Yeah, Janine just said the same thing. Yeah, I don't know. And they call Republicans corrupt. Hey, Spaniel Mom. Yeah, I agree, Darth. Yeah, that's it. He's he's a lame duck now. His only purpose is to do as much damage as he can on the way out. Mark Levin calls them the Biden crime family. Yeah, I can't listen when he's live on the air, but I have listened to the podcast, and that's the soundtrack of this place on my weekends. If I'm out in the garage working on something out there. When I was out there building the squirrel house, I had the block rocker out there and was listening to Mark. So yeah, that's what I do. I think she's a doctor of education or something like that. It's not a doctor like a doctor. She's got a doctorate in education. I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think you're right, Tracy. I think that's the reason that we need term limits on all elected offices. We got to get these career politicians out of there. Well, Whoopi Goldberg also said that what Roman Polanski did wasn't rape. So whatever. I stopped listening to her a long time ago. Nope, convention of states is the way to do that, and we're getting close. I don't know. I don't know. My understanding is that right now the police think he fled to Atlanta or something like that. So I don't know. You know, it, hopefully they'll get him quick. I got flash in her box right now. It's been really cold lately. We're getting into the low 30s. We're definitely getting into winter weather. We had a nice rainstorm that came through here yesterday and a little bit of misty last night, but we were supposed to get some more this morning, but I haven't seen any this morning. Oh yeah, he absolutely said it. It's obvious. Yeah, it was clearly targeted. He wrote little messages on the shell casings. Any more storm videos coming up? That's up to nature. I can't just say today, hey, I'm going to do a storm video. Hey, nature, give me a nice rainstorm. Yeah, that one's unfortunately out of my hands. It's possible. I mean, I guess they retrieved a backpack, and the backpack had like a jacket in it, and like Monopoly money or something like that in it. I don't know. I've only been kind of following the stories on kind of the edges, but yeah, but she would have managed our economy perfectly, right? Kamala got run over by a ranger. That's funny. Yeah, I know that was the whole thing. You know, everybody thought these were unsolicited celebrity endorsements, but yeah, no, she was paying for those. The sad thing is, I used to really love Whoopi Goldberg. She was a great comedian. I loved her in Ghost. I loved her in The Player. I'm a Star Trek nerd, so I loved her as Guinan. But I would never go see anything she was in anymore. In fact, my favorite Stephen King book um, is The Stand, and I heard that they remade the miniseries, the TV miniseries, recently with Whoopi Goldberg in the role of Abigail Freeman, and I would never see it just because she's in it. You know, I've got the original version with what Ray Walston and Gary Sinise and Molly Ringwald, and you know that's great. I love that one. It's funny. I was just watching The Player the other night, and you know, I like her, and it's just a little bit part, but she's great in it. She's funny, you know. And I remember, you know, even when she was a liberal, she'd go on Sean Hannity's show from time to time, and you know, they were great friends. Not anymore. You know, she just became a different person. Yeah, and that's another actor I really loved, Robert De Niro. Not anymore. You know, there's a lot of things I need in my life. You know, I need a mechanic sometimes. I need an electrician. I need a doctor. I need, you know, a job. I don't need a Robert De Niro. I can do perfectly fine without a Robert De Niro. Did anyone ever see? Any of you ever see that comedian? What was his name? That roasted the celebrities at the Golden Globes. Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais. Yeah, that was his name. Where he went to the Golden Globes and he was like the MC and just started roasting the celebrities in the audience. That was awesome. Told them, get up, accept your award, thank whatever God you believe in, and keep your mouth shut because most of you have less of an education than Greta Thunberg. That was hilarious. I'm sorry. I watched that one over and over again. Doesn't matter. Last time. Well, that's why they all had such nervous looks on their face. It's like, wait, he's telling them the truth here. They didn't know whether to laugh or run away. They didn't have their publicist there to protect them or their bodyguard. A mean man was saying mean words to me. I don't know. Let's see if when Trump gets elected, if he releases the Epstein list and if he releases the P Diddy list, let the world see who some of these people are. Yeah, I know. I would love to see that Epstein list. No, I don't really follow Gwyneth Paltrow, let alone her daughter. I've heard that. I've heard that too, Gene. I don't know it to be true, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I hope it does. Let's knock some of these people down a few pegs. Right, Bite? You want to see the Epstein list? I know I do. Yeah, well, that's what tends to happen with self-absorbed people. Yeah, right. Another Megan, exactly. Oh, Clinton, definitely. Maybe Biden, but I think it's and what the King Charles's brother. I think there's like someone on that side, William or something. I think he's basically been excommunicated from the family. Gates, definitely Bill Gates, because I think he separated from his wife over that. Andrew, okay, that's right, it's Andrew. I knew it was one of them. I don't really follow the Royals that much. Yeah, I definitely believe Bill Gates. There's a lot of creepy people out there. No, I don't think it's Obama. I think Obama likes guys. No, I don't think Soros would have to depend on an outsider if he wanted to pedophile little girls. Well, I'd also be interested in what celebrities are on the list because I bet you there's a lot of them too. Because there's a lot of creeps, or really a lot of creepy people in Hollywood. People that if you knew half of what they are involved in, you'd say, "Oh, stay away from me." Yeah, yeah, P Diddy too. See, I never thought when I started this live stream we'd be talking about P Diddy and Jeffrey Epstein, but here we are. Just let you know that we can talk about just about anything here. No, a lot of hard work. I enjoy it. It's new stuff to do, and I feel like I've accomplished something at the end of the day. So that's kind of nice. The days go quick, and I get nice paychecks. So hey, whatever. I'm exhausted at the end of the day, but you know what? The way I look at it is I work my tail off 3 or 4 days a week, so I can have 3 or 4 other days off to myself. That's where we are now. And what's the first thing I choose to do on my first day off? Spend 2 hours with you. Aren't you lucky? Well, one of the things I think that makes me valuable is I can do just about everything. And so, yeah, uh, yesterday a couple times I had to cover for somebody who had to do a bathroom break on the line. So, I can do that. Oh, I love bagels and cream cheese. Well, that's sort of what this is. Guests can talk to me here. I like jambalaya too. Yeah, I don't know. I tried doing a couple of meet and greets. I don't know. I'm just not big enough. I think that, anybody is going to be close enough to Waco to do it. Yeah, I mean, if there was a reasonable case of, that I could go somewhere and, maybe even two or three people would show up, I'd do that. I mean, if we were in Waco, I'd just give you a little tour of the town. We'd go over to the silos. We'd go over to the Dr. Pepper Museum. Take you to some fun places. Go over the Waco Suspension Bridge. That's all within like, a mile walk. We got a little regional airport here in Waco, Darth. Come and bring your private jet if you want. Yeah, I mean, there's a few places that we could go for food. If you wanted barbecue, go to Hellberg. Yummy. Go to Slow Rise Pizza. Go to the Twisted Root Burger Factory. I mean, how many people would seriously consider coming if I set something like that up? That would be the thing, who would come? Because there could have been a couple times I advertised ahead of time. Hey, I'm going to be, at Silo of Screams, tonight. Come see me. So far as I know, nobody's ever come and seen me. Now it's funny because John Guthrie, who runs Silo of Screams, has a Silo of Screams website, and if you go to the website, it's got a whole bunch of videos on there. Several of them are mine. And so I've had people come into the maze and say, "Oh, that's the guy from the video." So that's happened a few times. Yeah, that's the problem. There's 18 people in here spread over the planet. So the likelihood that any one of you are within 50 or 100 miles or something where you would consider doing it, odds are pretty low. Anybody here in Texas? Because even that's a long drive. I haven't heard anything about it, and that person isn't bothering here either. So I haven't heard anything from the person. Well, funny. The funny thing is, the guy that was stalking Jordan began stalking me also at one point. He made the mistake because Jordan knew what his name was, and Jordan told me what his name is, and he started stalking me on Facebook, and he made the mistake of actually using his real name. in one of the accounts where he posted something, you know, inappropriate on my timeline. And I was able to dig back into his account. I know what his name is. I know what he looks like. I know what his wife does looks like. I know what his kids look like. I know where they go to school. I know where he works. So yeah, if he ever caused problems, you know, I'm not worried. Jordan is still a moderator on this page because of that guy. Early on, when he was really boosting me and helping me get my channel going, when I started doing live streams, he would be here pretty regularly. And I remember one time we kept having all these trolls popping up, and he kept saying, "Make me a moderator, make me a moderator," and I did, and he just started going troll hunting. Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, I mean, these trolls are generally losers. Well, and a couple of years ago, about that time, I locked down my Facebook account too. Um, Stuff defaults so that I don't accept followers as friends because I want to be able to keep the things that I want to talk to about family, private. Yeah, I can't really think of any like female serial killers. Lizzie, but was she a serial killer or a mass murderer? Because she was the one that chopped up a bunch of people. Serial killers, it's usually it's a bunch of murders that happen over a period of time. She was a serial killer. Okay, because I was actually thinking of that when I asked the question: Are there any female serial killers? And I thought Lizzie Borden, but it seemed like she was just hacked up a bunch of people all at once. Yeah, right. So I don't think that's a serial killer. That's a mass murderer. But they are mostly men. You got Manson and Richard Speck, Jeffrey Dahmer, John Wayne Gacy. Yeah, Michael, Freddie, Jason, Richard Ramirez. I remember Richard, but yeah, Ted Bundy. You're right. That's another one. Al Bundy. No, I don't think so. Yeah, he's the guy that threw 4 touchdowns in a single game. Yeah, Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. Norman Bates. I don't remember that story, Yvonne. So I don't know if I'd be able to give you a guess on the name. Yeah, I'm trying to think of all different ones too. Well, I mean, if you're talking about Lee Harvey Oswald, yeah, I mean he lived here in Texas somewhere, I guess. And then I went to his boarding house when I did my video there. Boston Strangler, yeah, that's another one. Well, it does turn out those JFK videos, 2 of the 3 of them are my number 1 and number 2 video ever. Yeah, that's my National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation house. I've had that for a year, but I got a bunch of other stuff this year. Let's see, gotta go the other way here. That was my last video. That's Clark Griswold with the putting the getting the power on, him making it work at the last instant. Bunch of fun little pieces of that. I like the cousin Eddie one here too. That's classic. Got a beer, emptying the septic tank of his RV into the sewer. Love that one. Yeah, I get it tipped a little bit so that it faces you a little bit better. That's why that is. I got everything kind of facing the camera a little bit. Yeah, that's a bad foundation. That's what it is. It's foundation problems. We got somebody coming in to work on it tomorrow. Oh, it is? Today is the anniversary of John's death? I didn't know that. Oh yeah, Menendez brothers. There you go. They're talking about letting them out. Yeah, the lights do look pretty cool. There's actually 3 modes that you can run it in. There's a little button back, and you got to forgive me. I keep thinking I'm looking at this thing like a mirror here, and it isn't a mirror. So you got this mode, You got just the mode where the lights are on inside the house, or you have a mode where they're on solid inside and out. But I like the blinky ones, so I think if you murder two people, I think you should spend the rest of your life in jail. Jeffrey Dahmer, yeah, he was a good one. You gotta love a serial killer who eats his victims. Yeah, I went to Oswald's grave too. It's funny. A couple months ago, my boss came up to me and says, and told me he'd seen a couple of my videos online, and so yeah, my boss knows now, and he told me he'd seen the JFK ones, and he was specifically interested about the gravestone next to Lee Harvey Oswald's grave, Nick Beef, and the story behind that. He still laughs at that story. I don't think the boss ever watches the live streams. And the truth is, I don't ever say anything derogatory about the company. I don't even, mention the company that much. And what I do say is very positive because I'm very happy there, and he knows that. I never really had a problem with people at work finding out that I had the vlog, except for the fact that I really kind of want to keep the two worlds separate. So I don't want, somebody coming on here and say, "Hey, Breck, it's me from work." And then all of a sudden, it's out. Oh, they start talking about, oh yeah, you remember that project we did yesterday? It's like, get into it too much and give away too much information. Yeah, I heard they're thinking about letting Scott Peterson out too. That's another one that should never see the light of day. Hacks up his pregnant wife. What's he thinking? He just stumbled on it on YouTube. I don't know exactly. He just mentioned it to me. I've had four people now come up to me at work and say they had seen me. I had problem getting the live stream to stay stable. It dropped out one time, and I had to start over. Same. I tried doing one the previous day, previous Thursday on Thanksgiving Day, and I tried multiple times and could not get a stable stream. So since those didn't go anywhere, I just never made those visible. But that was what happened last week. I lost the stream about 30 minutes in, had to restart it. So far, we're more than an hour into this one. It's working fine. So fingers crossed. Yeah, see, that's the problem. You get some judge and they let him out. Andrea Yates, okay. Yeah, no, I think this was a technical problem. I didn't see specifically what happened. I knew that there was some sort of an issue, and then boom, the live stream just dropped out on Thanksgiving, and that happened a couple times, and I couldn't get it to go out, to keep going. So I gave up on it. But When I dropped the stream on Sunday last week in the middle of it, I noticed that I actually lost connection to the internet. So maybe there was a little problem with the modem. Maybe I just got to get over the fact that this laptop's getting up there in age. I started using this laptop the day Jordan and I left California to come to Texas. So it's been, more than 5 years, and this laptop's gotten a lot of use. Maybe it's just coming to the end of its life. Scott Michaels is an interesting character. Happy birthday yesterday. Yeah, I think that was the story, Yvonne, that she drowned her kids one after another. Can you imagine being one of the kids, not the first kid coming in and there's your dead sibling there and mom's putting you in the bathtub? Jordan did a vlog where he and Scott went on tour with a few of his viewers, and yeah, I was there. That was that time that we ended up at the haunted house down by just down the hill from the Manson house. Yeah, Casey Anthony, Susan Smith. Well, sometimes that's what happens too. Is it just gets to the point where you've all done it before, and then it just does become repetitive. That happens to TV shows too. Yeah, I was trying to figure out what we were talking about, Rusty. Oh, okay, all right. I guess I'm familiar with the name Andrea Yates, but I don't think, I mean, as much as I'm not a huge fan of Alec Baldwin anymore, I don't think he deserves to be put in the same category as like a serial killer. That was that was homicide. That was manslaughter, not homicide. I don't believe for a second that Baldwin tried to kill her. I just think he was reckless, and it resulted in a death. I don't know. I think maybe they should ban TikTok. No, but unfortunately, you can't throw somebody in jail for being a, not having a soul. I think there needed to be some jail time. I think he got off easy, but I don't put that in the same category as like a Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy intentionally killed people. Yeah, I will definitely lump him into the entitled Hollywood type. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, that's why I think he should spend some time in jail because he was very, very, very reckless. I don't care what the gun wrangler says. You have a real gun in your hand and you're going to point it at somebody. You're going to first check that that thing is not loaded. And why the heck did they have a loaded gun on a set like that? One that they were going to use as a prop in a movie. There was all sorts of recklessness that went on in that movie set that should not have happened. Not when you're using a product where an enemy nation is spying on us. Yep, probably all three there, John. That's true, but you know, I don't like what China might be doing with that data. I have nothing to do with TikTok. I won't click on a TikTok link. Nothing. If the communist Chinese get out of it, then that's a different thing. But there's other countries that are banning TikTok. I saw a creepy video a couple years ago online where they were demonstrating this little teeny tiny micro drone. It was probably only 4 or 5 inches in diameter, and it was autonomous. It would home in on a target, and it would hit the target and explode. And it's like, geez, that's scary. Any one of us could be wiped out at any second with one of those. Well, just don't. I don't know exactly how the interface works, but I would say be very, very careful when you're using TikTok. Yeah, see, that's probably the Chinese or Iran, maybe North Korea, Russia. A lot of countries out there that aren't very nice. I think we just need to let MSNBC die on the vine. Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun either. Car-sized drones? No, thank you. Musk was an interesting character. But a lot of times the most fun geniuses are the eccentric geniuses. And Musk definitely falls into that category. He's the kind of genius that I'd like to be. Yeah, exactly. A Doc Brown type. Well, that's it. I like the fact that he did the Tesla. I wouldn't buy one myself, but you know what? If electric cars are the way of the future, then let's let some private company do that and prove it. I don't have a problem with electric cars, and if somebody can make it work and make it viable, then more power to them. Let the market figure it out. I just don't want to have it, jammed down my throat by government. Yeah, I don't know. There's profound problems with electric cars, and I think we're starting to discover what those are. And I think you're right. The Tesla may end up being a failure. I still don't know what they were thinking with that Cybertruck. That is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's supposed to look modern. It looks stupid. But I love SpaceX. That's awesome. Well, that's it. It's way too expensive, and eventually you got to replace the battery, and the battery is almost as expensive as the car, and all of the materials that go into the battery, none of them can be recycled. Because who knows? Maybe the profit that Musk gets from his Teslas is going to get him to the point where he can develop the next big thing that is good. That's you never know. That's it. Yeah, where do you put all the non-recyclable materials from the batteries? It's going to end up in the landfill. And then that's going to end up in the water supply, and then we're going to have lithium in the water, and we'll all talk really slow. Yeah, yeah, they don't work well in cold weather. You're right. The batteries are way less efficient. Not explode, but they catch on fire, and it's almost impossible to put them out until they burn out. What they end up having to do, you can't pour enough water onto an electric car fire and put it out. What they have to do is dig a hole big enough to hold the whole car and fill the hole with water and then push the car in. That's the only way you can put it out, unless you just wait for it to burn out. And can you imagine having one of those things in your house, in your garage at night when it decides to catch on fire? That would take your house out. Actually, I got a little four cylinder in my car, and it does pretty well. It's got a lot of pep for what it is. Settle for a golf cart. There you go. Yeah, it's a Civic. No electric bikes here. So basically, it's an electric motorcycle. Doesn't sound as manly though. Motorcycle, electric bike. Motorcycles are fine. I've never ridden one, but I wouldn't rule it out. I think it'd be fun to have one. Yeah, I don't know. I know that Jordan got a motorcycle. I don't know. I never hear him talk about it or see anything about him riding it. I don't know. Maybe that's just you know something that he does for himself and doesn't do with the viewers. Yeah. See, I think I'd probably want to ride a motorcycle maybe on a dirt road or something, not on a highway or something. Definitely wouldn't ride it on I-35. See, I'd be one of those kind of people that wore a helmet though, and so there wouldn't be the wind in my hair. I don't have that much hair left anyway, so I write off some things. Gas isn't one of them. That question is directed to me. Oh, I love roller coasters. Disney had a couple of good roller coasters, but if you really wanted a good roller coaster, you need to go to like Six Flags Magic Mountain or even Knott's Berry Farm had better roller coasters, I think, than Disney. Yeah, I like the ones that tip upside down. There's always something going on at Disney. I don't remember specifically. Well, I mean, I guess I think there was a ride over at California Adventure called the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, and I think somebody got drunk one night, and they were waiting in line to get into the elevator, and they were kind of leaning on a rail on the second level, and they ended up falling backwards. But Disney's had its fair of deaths, some of them pretty grisly. I mean, that kind of happens with just about any kind of a major amusement park. There's supposedly ghosts in the park. Yeah, I guess I could see that happening too, Lindex. I hear there's not a whole lot left in Santa Cruz of the Lost Boys locations. I like that movie though. That's a great movie. Here, read this and pray that you never have to call us. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll pray I never have to call you. I believe it was shot in Santa Cruz. I mean, I would guess probably a lot of the stuff down around the boardwalk is still there. But it seemed to me that I read once that the house that the grandpa lived in, that they were in while that was all happening, that's gone. That's right. It was Santa. Was it Santa Clara or Santa Carla? I think it was Santa Clara, wasn't it? The the murder capital of the world. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know. I haven't decided yet what's for dinner. Find something in the deep freeze, I guess. The bells are out front now. They're hanging from the trees. They look nice. Of course, I got all the Christmas lights up. Christmas is up. I didn't even show you, but yeah, Christmas tree is up. Did that last week. Yeah, that's why I like them. They'd be too easy to miss if you didn't have lights inside of them. Train is out this year. Let's see, let's get it there. Yeah, the whole village is set up right now. Yeah, well, like I said, that's about as far as I'm going indoors. This is really, the Christmas village and the Christmas tree is only really a recent development. I didn't usually ever do anything out or inside for Christmas. It was always outside where I went overboard, but now it's coming inside a little bit, but that's okay. Thank you. I try. Now the cats leave the tree alone. There were years where I'd bring like real Christmas trees into the house. Actually, I never did it at the house in California. The only time I ever used a real tree was when I was in the apartment before I moved into the house in California. Where's Bite? I don't know. Bite's floating around. He probably went back to his room. No, I'm not really a Christmas music kind of person. There's some people who are, you get past Halloween and all of a sudden the Christmas music is out. I'm not one of them. You got a good recipe for an apple crisp? Because if there was something good, I'd definitely try it. Yeah, we were supposed to get some rain this morning, but I think it's all done because it was supposed to be wrapped up by noon. Oh yeah, I see. I see what happened. It went way west of us or way east of us. Yeah, you can kind of see right there. We missed it. There's Waco right there. Maybe next time. The Vienna Boys Choir, our competition. No vampires got you then, huh? That's good. Yeah, I like being as far away from the California craziness as I am. Summers can be pretty brutal here too. Yeah, you just learn to stay in during the hot months. That was how I what I always used to say to my mom. When my father passed away, she resisted the idea of moving up north to be near my sister, but she didn't want to live in Sacramento because she thought it was too hot. It's like, Mom, you rarely leave the house. You can sit in air conditioning and watch TV in Folsom, or you can sit and watch it in air conditioning in Southern California. Well, and I've said this before. That's one of the things I like about Texas is about the time you get tired of the weather, it changes. It's just getting to the point where I was, tired of it being, 95, 98 degrees out and 70% humidity all the time. And now it's changed. Now it's cold. I think they do to some extent, but they want to get out of California too. I know my brother-in-law is talking about retiring soon. I think he wants to go to Montana. That would be nice. I have thought about getting a generator just in case. I'm just thinking back to that time we lost power, what, a year and a half ago, and it was out for 3 days. It'd be nice to be able to at least keep my air conditioning and my refrigerator going. I think a lot of people like the wilderness, and my brother-in-law is an avid cyclist, so I bet you he would love just getting riding around the trails in there. When I was still doing the pool, I was actually thinking about putting solar on the roof and using that to power the pool. Because the time you'd want to have all that stuff being powered anyway is, during the day when the sun is up. So that'd be like a win-win. And I do have like a slope section of the roof would be perfect for solar panels. It would get, sunlight almost all day long. I've thought about it. Yeah, and I think that's in terms. I don't know. My brother-in-law is not really into guns or anything like that, but I know he'd love the open spaces and it's a different kind of open space. So there are trees in this part of Texas, and they're actually pretty thick in a lot of areas, but it's more trees and more forest and more untouched area. But see, the problem you run into with solar is then you also have to install an area for the battery because you got to have a big battery to do that. And that takes a sizable chunk of your house. And then you start running into the issues like Jordan had with his, where his inverter was giving him problems. I'm actually surprised when he was talking about a whole house inverter being a couple $1,000s. Like that's that's a lot less than I would have expected it would have been. Yeah, we do get enough sun here. There's a lot of movies that were filmed here, but it has to be a movie that I like. And unfortunately, I haven't really found a bunch of them. I knew that I wanted to do the Dazed and Confused because I knew that was here, and I found a lot of information about where all these places were. In fact, it's funny. There was a website that or a Facebook site that does like movie locations, and I'm convinced that they use footage from one of my videos for their Dazed and Confused one. Because there's one I'm convinced I can see my car in the background. And then of course we did RoboCop, and that was a fun one. And Logan's Run. Those are all movies that I like. So it's fun to be able to go there and see that. I'm not really into westerns, and unfortunately, there's a whole bunch of westerns that were shot here, and so that's not really an option for me. I haven't watched that movie since I went to all the locations. Yeah, Logan's Run. That was a great one. But RoboCop, that was great. I love finding all that stuff. Well, I was surprised it was made in Dallas because you would think that because it was set in New Detroit, and so you would have thought, okay, so they shot it in Detroit, but no, no, they shot it in Dallas. Blew my mind. Yeah, I know Detroit has always sort of been a joke. Yeah, Flint is a toilet also, isn't it? I blame Michael Moore for that. That's another thing I fled in California because that's what it was in LA too. Yeah, I remember when Los Angeles was a nice place. So it's your hometown, huh? Okay. Yeah, he sort of is. Yeah, I know that's true. I mean, I remember seeing Roger and Me. I liked it for a long time until I kind of figured out who he was. It was kind of a funny movie in kind of a sad, tragic way. Yeah, and that sort of revealed who Michael Moore was too. Just out there trying to humiliate people he doesn't like. Everyone can see him for what he is now. Now he's just a joke. I mean, when was the last time Michael Moore did a movie? Yeah, see, nobody watches them anymore. Doesn't matter. He's just in it for himself. Yeah, but he's harmless now. Nobody except the people watching MSNBC even knows he exists. Yeah, I have contempt for Jill Biden too. Who would let her husband do that to himself, humiliate himself in front of the world that way? I mean, she better than anyone knew how far gone he is. I think we're owed an answer to that, Lindex. I mean, we this is supposedly a constitutional republic. I think we need to know who our leader is. It's very possible, or chief of staff. Who knows? Or maybe nobody. Anyone see that letter that Trump sent to the Palestinian Authority? That was awesome. If the day I take office, all the hostages aren't released, I'm going to hit you hard. If you start rearming or digging tunnels, I'm going to hit you hard. If you start importing rockets by the truckload, we're going to hit you hard. The adults are back. The thing I'm most excited about for the new Trump administration is the Doge. I want to see what happens there. Yeah, you take them out there before they get here. Imagine if Clinton had done that with bin Laden. taking him out when he had a chance. And anytime I hear that walk softly and carry a big stick line now, I automatically think of something stupid that Joe Biden says, because Joe Biden was quoting Roosevelt and Obama at one point. He said, "I can assure you that Barack Obama has a big stick." It's like, dude, really? I mean, is that something you really want to make it to brag about? Compared to Biden? Say what you will about Trump, he loves his country. Can't say that about the other side. No, because unfortunately, there's too many people out there that take advantage of weakness, and all we have to do is look at the world in the last 4 years. I mean, does anyone think that Russia would have invaded Ukraine if Trump had been in office? Does anyone think that Iran would be within weeks of a nuclear weapon if Trump had been elected? They were on their backs. They were on their heels. Their economy was crumbling, and then Biden gave them a bunch of money. Got really quiet in here. Good seeing you, Lindex. We'll do this again next week. You know me, I don't usually end these until all three of the clocks have gone off. So no, I don't know what I'm going to do for Christmas. Probably just hang out here. So there goes that clock. So it is now 1 o'clock here on that clock. But that one, like I said, I've told you before, I have the three clocks kind of set a little staggered so they're not all going off at once. This one goes off a minute or two early. The grandfather clock, which will be the next one you'll hear go off, which will go off in about a minute. That one happens second, and then the cuckoo clock goes last. I want to see what Homan does. Well, it wouldn't even be rescinding it. It would just be because there's nothing in the 14th Amendment that says anything about foreign nationals becoming citizens if they have kids in America. That was about declaring after the Civil War that you couldn't deport the slaves, that they were citizens. It had nothing to do with foreign nationals. So that isn't a matter of rescinding it. It's a matter of going back to the original interpretation. Yeah, I probably won't do anything now this year until spring or summer. I don't know. Even the boss is saying that I know um, that he knows that I probably should take some more vacation days. So yeah, we'll do something at some point. It'll be like the trip to visit my mom a few years ago, where I kept putting it off and kept putting it off and kept putting it off, and then finally said, "Okay, I got to do something." Yeah, exactly, Yvonne. And that's what the original interpretation of the 14th Amendment is. They're working less over the holidays now. It used to be, Christmas Day, they'd be off, New Year's Day, they'd be off, but Thanksgiving Day, they'd be off. But a lot of the rest of the days, they'd be on. And those were kind of nice because if it was one of my natural days off, even though I don't have to go in, I get paid for that day. If it's a day that was my day to work, I get triple time for working that day. So, it hurts the paychecks a little bit when you don't get to do that. But, that's how it happens sometimes. A lot of overtime still. That's still a big source of the income here. That's what makes the paychecks nice because I'm going an hour early every day and then working usually an hour late, sometimes more every night. So those overtime hours are the things that really add up. Well, anyway, I think I'm kind of coming to the end of this one. We put in our 2 hours today. Had a good live stream today, and so I think we'll try and pick it up again next week. Thanks, everyone. Good talking to you. Have a good evening. Good night.